So you made it past Genichiro, but now you gotta fight the corrupted monk and the guardian ape. But never mind them, you're struggling on the mini-bosses just on the way to them. Whether it's Snake Eyes filling you full of bullet holes, or Orin dancing circles around you and whooping your ass, you just can't seem to take them down. We all struggle at one point or another. It's about improving that gets us through. And that's why you're here. Welcome to the Get Good Guide for Sekiro Mini-Bosses, Part 3. In this episode we're going to be tackling the mini-bosses associated with the Sunken Valley and the Ashina Depths area. In addition, similar to the previous videos, while I am on New Game Plus and I have more health than you might have, keep in mind that my enemies are going to be hitting twice as hard. In addition to that, because I am on New Game Plus, once again I'll only be using abilities and items that you would probably have access to at this point in the game. With all that being said, let's get things kicked off. And the first mini-boss on our list is going to be Snake Eyes Shirafuji. The main difficulty of this fight is the fact that you're under fire by a bunch of riflemen, but we can negate that out, get an opening death blow on her, and on top of that, it's pretty easy to cheese her through a combination of both the loaded umbrella magnet as well as the improved Sabimaru. Before we go after her, make sure to use a gotch and sugar, as we're going to use that to stealth past and reset the fight. Now she will still notice you, but the main reason we're popping the sugar is that we don't want all of the riflemen that are off in the distance to see us. Get noticed by the one that's close, and when you jump up, she will notice you initially, and that's fine. Sprint on past her, jump on up, and then hug the wall and walk past. After you've gotten past the wall, make sure you crouch, and you can walk on up to the start of the bridge here, and she should reset. Go. Now that she's reset, we can just head on back. Now what we're going to be doing here is opening on her with Sabimaru, getting in some damage, and then after that we're going to use the loaded umbrella, just basically block everything she does. Anytime she attempts to use her gun, you can use the loaded umbrella to block it. Anytime she attempts to do the grab attack, you can use the loaded umbrella to block it. Now it may seem a little tricky, but as long as you're right up beside her, wiggle around a little bit, and you should get that death blow. After the opening death blow, as soon as she stands up, go into Sabimaru. Now we're going to wait until we have an opportunity. Go again. After 2 uses, she's poisoned, and she gets a buttload of posture buildup. Now we're just going to keep attacking. We're going to use the fan. Anytime she tries to do a grab attack or shoot, we can just block it. If you have the projected force upgrade, you can of course use that to get free damage in after the fan. But other than that, there's not much to this fight. The magnet umbrella will block her shots, it'll block her grab, and you can use that to pretty much just cheese most of this encounter. As you saw, pretty easy. Next up is Centipede Giraffe. This fight is pretty much identical to the previous Centipede, except you're in a smaller room and you can't open on him with a death blow. Despite that, the same strategy applies. You can just use the umbrella to deflect everything he does, and then of course bounce off his head when he tries to do his sweep. The one thing I want to note that's important here is even though I've been recommending using Senpo leaping kicks or high monk to counter out sweeps, I'd actually suggest bouncing off the head as opposed to using it in this fight because of how fast his recovery is. Using Senpo leaping kicks, you can get the bonus posture damage, but it is a very, very tight window to do it, making the jump more valuable and more consistent. Rinse and repeat. Once you get down the tempo of the deflects, this guy should never give you any trouble. Next up, we're going to tackle our first Shichimen warrior. These enemies are pretty much gimmick fights, but there are a couple things to be aware of. To get damage into them, you need to use Divine Confetti. On top of that, all that purple crap they're making will cause fear buildup, so you're either going to want the Terror Gourd or you're going to want Pacifying Agents to remove that. If you have the Phoenix's Lilac Umbrella, you can use that to block everything they do, and then if you have Projected Force, you can hit R1 to do that follow-up and do a buttload of damage to him. In addition, as long as you are enchanted with Divine Confetti, when he does his hop and float in the air thing, you can jump up and get an anti-air death blow, taking out a health bar immediately. The last thing I want to mention for this particular Shichimen warrior is this pillar right here. If you're having trouble, you can hide behind that pillar to regain your breath, get your health back, you know, take pacifying agents, whatever you have to do. Now there's 3 Shichimen warriors in the game and 5 headless. I think it's fine to tackle these guys now. However, the headless I'd recommend later, because these guys are pretty easy. You can kill them with 2 confettis, whereas the headless might take a couple attempts, and after you've reached Fountainhead Palace, you can buy confetti freely from merchants, making it easier to just tackle the headless at that point in the game. So I'm going to show both a kill using the umbrella and a kill using confetti. Pop that, pop some pack agents, jump on in, and you literally just run up in R1. As long as you keep hitting them, you actually do like a mini posture break where it'll stop his cast, like you saw right there. He'll eventually deflect and disappear, and reappear somewhere across the room. Now as for the beam he does, you can deflect it with good timing. You gotta wait right until it's about to hit you. As you saw there, a nice clean defect. Make sure to keep up with the pacifying agents so that you keep your terror build up nice and low. See if we can get him to do a jump to show anti-air death blow. Get him to do the actual, there we go. Jump up, R1. That easy. You can buy anti-air death blow from the Black Hat Badger. He's over in Ashina Castle near the Old Grave. As for using the umbrella, like I said, pretty much just hide under the umbrella, tank everything he does. You can walk into the balls with it, you can tank the blast, you can tank the giant balls he does, and you actually want to, because you'll notice the umbrella is getting nice and steamy, and that means it's building up for a nice big fat projected force. Even blocking. Nice chunk there. Reappear. Get a little bit closer here. It might be a little bit hard to farm for the umbrella at this point in the game, but honestly, it's worth getting, especially since right around now is when you're going to be tackling Shichimens and headless. That's all you got to do with the umbrella. I'm not even worried about deflecting, I'm literally just blocking stuff. In particular, this like little mini barrage he does, that's good to block. You can walk into these. But usually you want to either tank one of his dark laser blasts, or you want to tank one of the big balls he creates to get this thing charged up for a counter hit, ideally.
While this method is quite a bit safer, as I mentioned, you're going to have to farm up when you use the umbrella. So you can see, just blocking that blast, we have the steam coming off of it. Do the big ball. There we go, big ball's good. Nice and steamy. See, even when blocking, I'll take a ton of damage from it. Not exactly the most, I don't know, engaging strategy, but man, it sure as hell does work. You just, walking on up, don't run away. Come get the ball. Probably 1, maybe 2 more balls.
Get it nice and built up for me. There we go. And that's all you gotta do for Shichimen warriors. The same strategy applies for all 3 of the Shichimen warriors you'll encounter. Next up, we have Snake Eyes Shirahagi. Once again, you can open with a death blow with a little bit of stealth, and the only real change from the previous fight is I wouldn't suggest using Sabimaru because it does take quite a bit longer to poison her. You can actually lure her into this poison and let her just sit in it until her health is near 0, but, I mean, who has 5 minutes to waste doing that? So anyway, similar to before, pop a gotch and sugar. You don't absolutely have to, but it's going to make this a lot easier. Go on over to the hand. On over to that tree. Over to the head. Crouch. Walk on up behind her. Now, after we aggro her, want to get that death blow. And then run on over here. And what's great about this is you can fight her down in this little area, and nobody else will get involved in the fight. So you don't have to worry about any of the other gunmen or anything. All we're going to do is just R1 and use the umbrella when she tries to either grab us or shoot. Literally, just spamming R1. You can see it's like, I mean, it's basically brainless. You just hit R1, If she kicks you off, you use the umbrella to block a shot and follow up with projected force. When she tries to grab, stop attacking, hit the umbrella button, follow up with projected force. I mean, it's pretty much just abuse. Next up, we have Tokujiro the Glutton. This guy's basically identical to the Drunkard, except you don't have Blue Bro helping you out. So go into the fight, lock on, aim up, throw out 2 shurikens to take down that one monkey. Then from this branch, leap, and rope across. Now, if you somehow fall down or they aggro you, you can still jump up and then head on over to this branch. After just a couple seconds here, you should lose aggro and everything goes back to normal. Next, you're going to want to pull out your finger whistle. If you don't have the finger whistle, be sure to kill all these monkeys with shurikens instead. Right about here. Blow the finger whistle. And then target the glutton, jump, and get that death blow. Now the finger whistle enrages the monkeys, so after you've blown that, feel free to hop back up and enjoy the show for a second. The monkeys will attack him and try to do damage. If one comes for you, just kill it. Wow, man. See, this is why people be like, oh, you're at so much health. See how much damage that monkey did? New Game Plus is not a joke. Anyway. The monkeys may soften him up a little bit, but don't expect them to do a ton of damage. Now, from here, it really depends if you want to go for a posture kill or a flame vent kill. It's also important to note that if you need to take antidotes or heal or whatever, you can just jump back up here and he can't actually get you. He can poison you by spitting his poison enough, but you can chill back here whenever you need to. So the main thing we're going to be doing is going for oil in the flame vent. And safely just hit him in the face with oil from up here. Then we just wait for the opportunity. Like this. Anytime he tries to do that grab, circle behind. Because of the uneven elevation, it's actually pretty hard to like jump or dodge it, where circling behind is consistent. Anytime he tries to drink, you can of course punish it with Ichimonji. I'd actually recommend bouncing on the head as opposed to using Senpo leaping kicks here because of the uneven elevation. If you're going for a posture kill, the hops and Ichimonji are going to be your best bet. If you're going for health, flamethrower is going to be just fine. And as you can see, taking out that health bar, and it shouldn't be much of an issue. Now this next boss is arguably going to be one of the hardest enemies you fought up to this point in the game. What you're going to want to do is drop down here, lock on, when you're above and behind him, jump and get that death blow. Now this next part is super important, and if you mess up, there's a good chance you'll die. I want you to hit R1. And as long as you keep hitting R1, you're fine. That's all you got to do. All jokes aside, the next boss will likely be one of the harder ones for you. Marina the Water has lightning fast attacks, she can phase in and out to avoid damage, and on top of that she's constantly retreating, making it hard to keep pressure up. Despite that, there are a couple tricks we can do here, and the first is getting our opening death blow via ceramic shards. Go right up behind her, just kind of look straight ahead, and keep trying it. Gotta get the aim just right. There we go. Now, after that, you want to use a combination of Sabimaru and either Senpo Leaping Kicks or High Monk to get in lots of damage. 2 piercing Sabimarus is enough to inflict her with poison. After that, back on up, and that's pretty much going to be a series of deflects until she tries to do her perilous sweep. She likes to end the combo with quite a lot, and when she does, you'll be able to get a nice, easy kick to build the rest of her posture up. Senpo leaping. Let her do it one more time. Honestly, this fight is all about letting her come to you. There's no point really chasing her because of how she's going to become like ghostly and then visible. Anyway. All it comes down to, though, is just keep deflecting, wait until she tries to do her sweep, Hit her with Senpo leaping kicks or high monk, and you'll get the rest of her posture that you couldn't get with poison. After knocking out O-Rin, as long as you grab the prayer beads that were hidden in the Sunken Valley, as well as the one after Snake Eyes that was hidden in Ashina Depths, you should have enough for a 6th completed prayer bead necklace. And on that note, we're going to wrap this episode up. Next episode, we're going to be revisiting some familiar areas. A new ogre shows up, we have quite a few more lone shadows, there's even a second drunkard we can fight. So make sure to stay tuned, and I'll catch you guys then with more.